So my relationship with my father growing up was very distant. He was there, and so was I, living in the same household, if that could help describe it between us, or any of the other siblings for that matter. Day-to-day interactions with my father were he came home from work, he went to work early, and I went to school. There wasn't much conversation going, there wasn't much dialogue. I noticed a disconnect at the age of 7, between 6 and 7. I wouldn't want to be at home. I just didn't want to interact with my family. And I just remember never interacting with my brother or my sister. All I know is that they took care of me, and I mean, it was enough to keep me alive, I guess. And they were much older than me, so there was a 12-year age difference, so they couldn't really relate to me, and I couldn't really relate to them. I just never wanted to be at home. I always wanted to be with my friends. I always wanted to play outside and not even be in my room, for that matter. So what I did to fill that void, I would just be with my friends. I felt that was the only safe place where I could actually be myself, where I didn't have to not voice my opinion and not have it matter, or I couldn't voice my opinion and not have it matter. I think when I probably saw my uncles at family parties, it would fill it for that moment, because they would hug me and my dad wouldn't hug me, even though he claimed that I was his favorite, as I could say. I wouldn't know how that's being his favorite, I guess. But I would fill it with my godfather or my uncles, and they would, talk to me sometimes, or, I think I would just wanted to be close to them, and that's how I would fill it in those moments, on those days. But when I went on my daily life, it wasn't filled. It was just my dad was there and he wouldn't talk to me. How I would fill that void as I got older was trying to grab attention from guys. It could have been at a club or at a party, and as long as I knew I had attention from a guy, that's how it would feel for that night. It wasn't the greatest decisions, but it was a result of my father not caring. And I knew I could have a guy's attention, and it replaced that caring for that moment. I gave my life to the Lord at the age of 25. It was September 13th, 2012. And it was just empty. I didn't have a structured life anymore. I would go to school, go to work, and party on the weekends. And after I graduated CSUN, I didn't have that structure anymore. And I remember just thinking I needed something else. And at the time, my friend and I, we were, partying a lot. And she wanted to get right with the Lord herself. And she was dealing with her emotions. But she started going to church, and I saw the major difference in her. And I was like, I needed that. But I didn't want to go to a Christian church. And she was Christian, and we ended up hearing about the Vine, and she invited me, and I went, and then she went to life group, and that one life group was amazing. They prayed over me. These girls that never knew me before prayed over me. They showed me love that I don't know if I've ever experienced that, even with my own sister. My life group girls really encouraged me during this time, and even getting to know people within the body of Christ really helped some healing parts of this really emotional journey. They stuck with me and prayed over me, and during that time my faith grew with the Lord, and I got baptized on December 23rd, 2012. I was in my mid-20s, and I wanted just something like a youth group, an adult group where we were going through the same things, and they didn't offer it at that time, or they didn't have anything at that church. And I just remember hearing about it through my friend who was already going to church, and she told me about the Vine, and it's a young adult group, 18 to 30, and it was just perfect because that's what it was I was searching for. And I found my home there.
Think about sometimes playing and thinking my dad noticing me and will call my name.
Arlen!
And I can just run to him and be excited that I get to finally see my dad and just give me that hug that I've always wanted. I know one day we'll have a relationship where we'll just be reconciled, where he can hug me and